You know, I was speaking to a friend of mine yesterday. We were in the Jewish bookstore together looking for a good book. And we were talking about how we learn through stories. So you know, the whole book of Genesis is one big story. And the whole book of Genesis is one big lesson. This week we're talking about Parshas Vayera, the portion of Vayera. So we have amazing stories in there. I'm just going to take 2 lines, and right in there is something incredible. So basically you have the story of Sarah and Abraham. Now, Abraham is told that in a year from now you are going to have a child, even though they were very, 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 very old. Sarah, his wife, was standing at the edge of the tent, and she heard. And she said to herself, and I'll read it inside, she said, "After I have withered, I'm already an old woman. Shall I again have delicate skin? Shall I become young again after I'm old? And my husband, he's also old." So God said to Abraham, "Why is it that Sarah laughed, saying, 'Should I have children even though I'm old? Is anything beyond Hashem?'" So here you have Sarah. I'm going to call her Sarah, her proper Hebrew name. She's laughing to herself. She's saying, "I'm old, and forget about me. I mean, my husband Abraham, he also can't have kids. How can this be?" And then you have God, who knows everything that we think and everything that she said to herself. And when he repeats her words to Abraham, he has a very clear omission. He doesn't tell Abraham the part where she said, "And my husband is old." He just says, "Why is Sarah laughing that she thinks she can't have a kid? I'm God. I make stuff happen. We can do this." What do we learn from here? So commentators say, notice this. Notice that even God himself is looking out for people's marriages. Even God himself didn't want Abraham to hear something that wasn't nice from his wife. And Abraham was quite an old man. You know, maybe he would have been okay with it, but you know what? Even old men are sensitive. Sounds funny. Everyone's sensitive. That's the absolute truth of the matter. So what do we learn from here? I want to talk about marriage for 1 minute. And there's so many things to talk about. But from this little story, which is in Genesis and is the genesis of our being, we learn something so important about marriage. It's not only about doing for each other. It's about being your spouse's absolute cheerleader. This is easier said than done. It wasn't even easy for Sarah. But it teaches us what marriage can actually be. And sometimes it just comes down to words. I say, women, don't let yourself say a bad word about your husband. Just don't let yourself. Just don't go there. You have some troubles, you can speak it over with, a sister or a particular friend. But this generalized male bashing or male joking, just don't engage in it. Be that woman that is there for your husband 100%. When he makes a mistake, don't call him on it. Don't give it a hard time. He already feels lousy. Stand by him and be his cheerleader. If he is getting old, you don't got to be the one to point that out. You can laugh with him. You can support him. You can actually make him feel young. That's what we learned, not from Sarah, but from God in this week's Torah portion, where he protected Abraham so that he wouldn't feel so bad that his wife had kind of a thought about him. Wishing you all a beautiful week, beautiful marriage, and if you are not married yet, wishing you that you find the right person to share your life with very, very soon.